Good morning, everyone. Everyone on the call will be some friend of mine, and I want to introduce Curtis Daniel. Curtis is a Trinidadian who is backpacking around the Philippines. I don't know why, but Curtis has done something that I consider phenomenal over the past 2 years. He has built a robot, and that robot trades for him, pretty much taking the emotions out of when to buy, when to sell. And he has done really great. And so I just thought it would be good to probably share that, share his experience. And two things I really like about what he wants to do is that he's not going to be holding on to your money. Your money is going to be placed with a regulated broker who you can verify. And Curtis is also risk averse, which I find very strange. But I would let Curtis take the floor now, and I want to just thank everybody for giving him the opportunity to share his journey and his experience. So have a good day, everybody. It's unlikely that I'll be like back on. So I leave it to Curtis. Thanks, Curtis.
Okay, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. All right, morning, everyone. Now this is something real casual. If anyone has a question, you could feel free to ask at any time while we on a particular topic. So this is just to go over the PLEX algo that I've been working on for more or less the past 2 years, right? So first of all, who am I? My name is Curtis Daniel Jr., right? I am the co-owner of XD Studio, which is a design and construction company in Trinidad. I also own Shasha Technology, which is a software. I class it as a software company which focus on building trading tools and algorithms, right? Now, this is not tools that I'm building to sell to the public. This is for internal use. I'm also a funded trader with TopStep. I am currently funded with 50K from them and working on getting allocation for 250K. Probably by the end of the year. It's a work in progress. All right. So the big thing why I got into algo trading would be the benefits of trading with an algo instead of manually trading, sitting and taking trades. And freedom of time is one of the biggest things. As Laura mentioned, I am currently in the Philippines. I've been traveling since, yeah, go ahead.
Hi, quick question here. Sorry, I don't know if I missed it, but is this being recorded?
Yeah. I would record
Okay.
it. I would record it, and once it's edited, I would put it on my YouTube channel and have it private. So I would share the link, so only people with the link would be able to go back and look at it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, no problem. Right. Yeah, so as I was saying, freedom of time is the biggest thing. I wanted the ability to travel as much as possible and experience new things. So even though I'm not 100% full-time trader at the moment, it is a work in progress and getting to that stage. So the other big thing is taking the emotions out of trading. Now, I could show you a perfect example of what emotions could do to your trading. As I mentioned, I trade with TopStep, and I currently have a 50K evaluation with them. So if we look at, let me just log in here. So I could show you what the downside of emotional trading is. So you could understand why I wanted to go to algo trading. So when you trade with them, the profits that you make, you keep a percentage of it. But I can't do algo trading with TopStep because of their platform, the TopStep X. I don't know if there's an integration at the moment for algo. And this is my trades for this week. So, it was more or less consistent around 500 US a day. And then on Wednesday last week, I was having a bad day and emotions got to me. And I lost 1,500 on Wednesday. I grouped myself together. I made it back on Friday. But this is the downside to like manually having to take trades. It doesn't matter how good someone is or how much he has into it for. The emotions could take the effect of it. So this is why I like algo trading. Just I can't do it for Top Step. And the other thing is the bot has the ability to trade multiple markets and strategies in a way that I can't actually do it, right? The speed the bot could move at, the calculations it could do, I could never do those calculations within the period of time to determine what the lot size should be, where stops should go. I can't do that. So the bot could carry out those calculations in, a millisecond, right? So PLEX is the project I've been working on. I've been working on this since the beginning of last year, and I first put it live around August, July, August, somewhere there, right? So PLEX is a robot that was built for the MetaTrader 4 platform, right? And it trades multiple strategies. But the nice thing about it is each strategy is completely independent of each other. So each strategy has their own risk management, their own calculations, everything completely independent of one another, which I'd go over coming up soon. So the strategies that I have at the moment would be the 1-bar IBS, 2-bar IBS, bearish engulfing, RSI2. Now, some of these may not make sense to you if you are not into trading and you haven't dived into strategy development and research into strategies, but each one does a completely different thing, right? I have more strategies that I need to build out, which I have in gray, and then I also have a list that isn't on this presentation that I'm working on. And I would show you a strategy that I'm working on right now, which would more likely be the next strategy that would be added to PLEX, right? So at the moment, the markets that I trade would be the NASDAQ and the S&P 500. Now, the reason for that is because of the volatility of the market, how much it moves, how liquid it is. But with that being said, the bot has the ability to go onto different markets. We just have to train it on how the market moves because each market, for example, the NASDAQ and the S&P, even though they are similar, they have their own personality, you could say. And you just need to train the bot on it, and then the bot would determine what would be the best way to approach each market. And then that would be the settings for that particular market. All right. The strategy types, there are different types of strategies in trading. So there will be trend following, mean reversion, breakout strategies, and each strategy has different entries, different exits, and the bot is trained on different types of strategies. And it can make a decision after analyzing the market to see, which strategy may be the best strategy at that particular point in time. Now, when it comes to the account safety, because there are multiple strategies, there is the possibility for having multiple trades open at the same time, which could increase the drawdown. So what I did, I coded in what I call an equity stop. So apart from looking at the balance of the account, it looks at the equity, which is the floating P&L. So that could either be floating profit or floating loss. And at all time, it monitors that. And then if it drops at a level that is predetermined, it would liquidate all of the trades and stop trading, right? So this is how the account is protected. So it should never blow up at any point in time, even if the market crashes, right? So this is just a quick kind of graphic on how the bot functions, how the execution is done. So it starts with me. I am basically coding the bot, and the bot is PLEX, right? And on that PLEX would be the strategy managers. Each strategy manager is responsible for their own strategy. They have rules to enter a trade, rules to exit the trade, and then they have rules to manage the risk. Each one is independent. So when the market opens, the market sends data to PLEX, and then PLEX sends the data to the strategy managers. The first thing that would happen, as soon as the data comes in, the strategy managers that have open trades would make a decision if they want to keep the trade open or if they want to close the trade. If they want to close the trade, they would send that information to PLEX, which would then send it to the market, and it would close that trade. The other trades would remain open. Once that part of the entire mechanism is finished, what would happen next is the other strategy managers would determine if they want to take a new position, and they could independently take a position. If one does not want to take a position, it wouldn't take the position. And then this would go to PLEX itself, and then that would be routed to the market to actually take the position. Now, at any point in time, I have full control. I could always come in and intersect if I see there's an issue somewhere. To be honest, this hasn't been necessary. I just monitor it on my phone at the start of the day to see if new positions were taken, and then more or less that is it. I don't look at it until the following day. This here is just a breakdown of what my most profitable strategy is. So if anybody trades, they could probably use this and try it out on their own. What happens is we run this calculation here at the start of every day. And based on this calculation, it returns a value between 0 and 1. So you get 0, 0.01 all the way up to 0. All the way up to 1 in increments of 0.01. And depending on what value comes back. Yeah, go ahead. I'll now see the hand.
Sorry. I'm assuming that we can ask questions as you go on.
Yeah. I just didn't see the hand before.
Okay. If you can go back to your previous slide, which by the way, I thought that was fantastic, the way how you laid that out, the previous slide. So we would be the strategy managers. Like I'm trying to understand where I would fit in this whole thing, or I'm not.
Okay.
Sorry?
I would get to that. So this is just how the robot itself works. This entire thing is how the robot works with the market and executes. To answer your question, what happened, and is because a broker from Australia reached out to me. Everything I do is public. I have a YouTube channel where I document my journey from being a new algo trader and now getting into coding. And then all my results are displayed on a website called My FX Book. So I could show you that on My FX Book, right? So this is the portfolio that I have there with different strategies. And when PLEX started, it originally started as the IBS Hunter, right? And which is one of the strategies which I showed that, or I am going to show, which is the most profitable strategy I have right now. And it started as this strategy here. And you could see this is how the performance was for last year. Now, around the 15th of December, I built a new bot called Helios. I will not release that bot to the public because, to be honest, that bot dangerous. It could do damage to the account, but it could grow the account extremely fast, which I am trying to stay away from. But to answer the question about where you would come in, a broker saw my results here and they reached out to me and asked me to join their platform, right? So their traders could actually copy my trades. And this is where the whole Palm account is coming up about. So I would be opening an account with them, which I already did. And as the bot trades on their platform, it would be open to the public. But how that would work is you would sign up for the broker, you would fund your account yourself. You have complete control over your account. All you are doing is telling the broker that when I take a position, you want to copy your position or copy my position onto your account. That is all it is. I have no interaction with your actual money itself. And what they do is they would pay me a performance fee at the end of the month or the quarter, depending on how it's set up, based on the profits that would be returned to the account. I hope that answers the
Okay,
question.
thank you. Yes, it does. It does. Thanks.
Okay, no problem. Right. Well, I kind of went over this. As I said, this is the most profitable strategy. I would break it down and show you how that looks. As a disclaimer, I mean, if you pause the recording, you could always go back and look at this. Trading has risk. Everybody should be aware of this. I myself know it has risk. That is why, as Laura said, I risk averse, but I am trying to do this for the long run and try to build a track record in order to get other people interested in following the trades that I have, right? So if we look at some of the stuff that I've been doing, we go back here. Now, I mentioned that Shasha Technology does software for trading. This is the MQL5 website, and this is my profile. And these are just some of the stuff that I publish that users could download and use. And if we look at all time, and nothing is paid, everything I do at the moment is free. So if we look at free downloads, this is where all the users download and use my indicators. So at the moment, we have a little over 1,000 downloads from different parts of the world, and they use the tools that I build. Right? So I could show you really quick how the bot actually trades. So this is the MetaTrader 4 platform, and I would do a back test. The market is closed right now, but we could still run a test on data from 2019 to 2024. This would be a bit slow. Well, I have it sped up. Okay, let me start over because there's something that I wanted to ask everybody as this goes on. So let me start over. And I would like to get some feedback here. So this is with the idea that you're starting an account in January 2019 with $1,000, and the bot will just be trading. So we can look and see when the first trade comes in. So you see it open the trade. It opened the trade and then it closed the trade on its own. Now, you see at this point, we have multiple trades that are opened because those are different strategies that playing out. And some of the strategies were closed, but this strategy is still open. So as shown in the slide, the strategy manager decided that, it doesn't make sense to close this trade at the moment, and it would hold it until it decides to. So that could be for a profit or for a loss. Right, so all the trades were closed there. Now, let me just fast forward a little bit. Right. Here's a section, right? Let me see. We went too far. But there is a section that I wanted to find out if, at that point, if you would still want to trade the system. Like, this is completely sideways, right? This is completely sideways. The market drew back down from $1,000. We only made $11 at the end of the year. Would this be something that you all would continue trading or would be interested in trading? mean, if we could just get some feedback, I would be curious to know.
I was going to say no, but then maybe I just to throw that out there, maybe no because it's heading down, but I don't know.
So,
but then it's coming back up.
Yeah. Now the thing with trading, right? A lot of people fight for what they call the holy grail, which there is no holy grail in trading. There is nothing like 100% win rate. The closest you could get to 100% win rate is scalping, where as soon as the trade opens, it closes for the smallest of profits, but the stop would be extremely far away, right? So you have to take losses in trading. Nothing is 100%. If you could get a strategy that is 60%, 65% win rate, that is extremely good. But if we speed it up now, you can see this is the equity curve over the 5 years, right? So it does have drawdowns. It is possible that you could start trading in a period where the market is pulling back and it doesn't look good, but it is part of the game, which everyone has to understand. Now, with that being said, we could look at this software here. This is called Quant Analyzer, right? What I do is I run all the tests for each one of the individual strategies. I bring in the data here, and then we could take a look at it from 2019 to 2024, all the months, and then what the percentage gain or loss would be on the account. So you can see there are a lot of months with zeros, which means this particular strategy didn't have any trades. The red months would be the percentage drawdown. So you see the entire 2022, we negative 0.87%. This is another strategy, 61 trades for that 5-year period, and we only up 48%. All right. I did a video on this on my YouTube channel, and a lot of people would say like 1%, like there's a strategy that you only make 1% or 3% for the year. But my approach to it is having multiple strategies with these small wins. And then when you combine them, that is where the magic happens. Now, this is the IBS, which I showed before. This is one of the most profitable strategies I have. For the 5-year period, it made 143%. Now, if we combine all these strategies here into a portfolio, which PLEX is the actual portfolio now, this would be the results for the same 5-year period, right? With all the strategies being run, we are 737%. This would be how the equity chart looks for the 5-year period. So it didn't do too bad. What we were talking about before was the Monte Carlo simulation. And what this does is, even though we have all the data for the trades from the backtest, you would randomize the trades and then you would, skip trades in order to try to break the robot. If we had lines that started to curve down, that would be negative because that would show that it started to fail over time. But all the curves, all the equity curves going up, and this is 1,000 individual simulations right in this cluster, right? If we look at the prediction, the outer sample data, meaning this was data for until January 2024. So this is what happened in the back test, right? So this was just simulated. This red here is the projection that was forecasted for the balance of the year. And this blue line is the actual results that we had for this year so far. So I'll show you how much we actually up on the account for this year. And this prediction is forecast for the next 111 trades. Right, so it forecasted to go up. Again, nothing is 100%, Nothing is set in stone, but it is a work in progress. We try to manage risk and new strategies will be added. So instead of showing backtests, I could show you the actual results. So first up, this here is a small account that I am managing for engineering bellies, right? And this is the equity curve that he has. At the moment, we up 100% on the year so far. They started in January. And you can see here what the results were. Now, in February, what happened at that point in time, we only had two strategies, which was the IBS and the 1 by IBS and the 2 by IBS. And then as strategies were added, the risk was reduced in order to stabilize it. And it wouldn't make as high returns, but it would also keep the drawdown down as much as possible. So this month we up 5%, last month was 9%, and we had 2 losing months for the year so far. And I mean, you can see from the equity curve right here, right? So this is where we at on that one. This account's supposed to be up more. What happened is, because this is my personal account, I test new strategies on it and I build a new indicator that I tested on this. And we did take a loss. So, but you could see the percentage is slightly higher because the balance is higher. And what that allows is trades that would be taken on this account would not be taken on the other account because the balance is lower. And once the lot size is calculated, which is the value that the bot will enter the trade, it was too low to take it on the other account. So yeah, we up about 100%, and this is like an actual live account. All these accounts here you'll see would be real. So all of these are actual accounts that we're building and testing new strategies on. And, speaking about testing, I was telling Laura this is the new strategy I'm working on, or started working on. So this is the MT4 platform. How I go about building a new strategy for the robot, it takes a lot of coding to add in a strategy. So the first thing I do is I build an indicator really quick. I could flesh out an indicator within probably about 15, 20 minutes, depending, once I have a clear understanding of what I want to build for the rules. And then this website here is a way that you could run manual backtests, right? So this is like starting an account with a simulated 10,000, and we are risking 1.5% to make 3%, which is not a bad risk to reward, right? So how this indicator works is when an arrow paints, you are trading in the direction of the arrow. If it's a red arrow, you are taking a trade on the open of that bar. So the open would be to the top here if it's a red bar. If it's a green bar, the open is to the bottom. The target would be the bottom of the diamond, and the stop loss, in case you're wrong, would be the top of the arrow. So you get a positive reward to risk on this strategy. So I could show you quick how this backtest works. So if we just look at it, if I have a positive trade, I just hit add. So you can see the equity curve starts to go up. So this trade would be positive, this would be positive. This would be a loss because we didn't hit the diamond before we come back and take out the arrow. So these two trades would be loss, loss, loss. This would be a loss because this is a down trade. This trade would be positive. This would be a loss. This would be a loss because we take out the arrow before getting to the diamond, so that is a loss. This one is a win. This one is a win. This one is a win. So this is how I like run quick manual backtest. So this is a win. This one would be a loss. This one would be a win. So we have a win, a loss, a win. This would be a loss. This would be a loss. And this is something that, like, if you are trading manually, you have to understand that you are going to take losing trades. I mean, you could take 9, 10 trades in a row that will be losing trades before you get a winning trade. But it all depends on your risk to reward, depending on your win percentage. So this would be a loss, this would be a win, this would be a win. So we have a loss, a win, a win. This would be a loss because we took out the arrow. This would be a loss as well. This would be a win. This would be a win. This would be a win. This would be a loss, a loss, a loss. This would be a win, a loss, a loss, a loss. So if you notice, it's sounding like we're having a lot of losing trades, which is fine. This would be a win. This would be a loss. This would be a loss. I see this one here is a loss for sure. This one is close. So we call these 3 losers and this one a winner. So loss, 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 win. Win. Loss, win. Loss, because we took out the arrow. Win, win. This would be a loss as well. This would be a loss. Loss, loss, win. Loss, loss, win. This would be a loss as well. This would be a loss. Win. 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 Loss. Win. 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 Loss. Win. 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 Loss. This would be a win because we didn't take out the arrow. So loss, win. This would be a win also. This is close, so we'll call it a loss, even though it may be a win. This is a win and a win. This is a loss. This is a loss. This is a win. Loss, loss, win. Loss, loss, loss. We have a win here and a win there. This is a loss. This is a loss. This is a win. This is a win. This is a loss. This is a loss. This is a loss. This is a win. Loss, loss, win. This is a win, win, win. This is also a win. This is a loss. This is a win. Win, win, win. Win, 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 win. And this is where we're at. So we just took 94 trades there. And you can see here, we lost 5 trades in a row. We won 9 trades in a row, but it basically ended at 84% gain on the account, even though we took so much losses. So the way I approach trading is not trying to be right all the time, because if you try to be right all the time, you'll be over optimizing and what they call curve fitting, which isn't realistic. At that point in time, you're actually trying to bend the indicator, bend the bot to match the data instead of trying to have proper risk management. So you could see, even though we took so many losses at the end of a year, basically, the account was up 48%, right? With proper risk management. So this is like one of the new strategies I would be adding to the PLEX bot in the coming month or so. So yeah. So that was a quick overview on what I do. If anybody has any questions, we could do that now.
So if I can understand, you were just building, essentially that exercise that you just went through was building a strategy?
The strategy was built, the strategy was built here, which is the indicator itself. So this is the code. This is the code for the indicator itself. And this code is what runs this indicator.
Okay.
Once the indicator is on the chart, the way I designed it is it should give you entries, but it should also give you targets, which I could adjust. I mean, I could adjust the target. The other thing that I do is, let me see if I could find a example of it. Okay, so here. So the indicator is also, I mean, smart enough to figure out if the market is volatile. So if you notice, the arrow comes up here for a buy trade, where you take a buy at the top of the bar, right? So the distance from here to the bottom of the arrow is 91. But if you look at this buy is only 51, and this is because what the indicator does, it looks at the past around 13, 14 candles, and it determines how volatile the market is. So if the market isn't very volatile, it would set the stop closer and the target closer. If it is very volatile, it would set it further apart, and then you would just adjust the entry size so that this distance would be equal to 1%, but then this distance would still be equal to 1%. So that's kind of how that works. And then this is just how I test it to make sure our idea is valid. If the idea isn't valid, this is the quickest way to get rid of the idea and kind of move on to something new, or figure out how to improve it at least.
Okay, so okay, so let me ask a question from our involvement, because I'm trying to put myself in. So all of this stuff we won't actually see. This would be what you are doing on the back end,
Yeah.
to optimize the bot and to add more options. And I may not be using your language, so forgive me, but to optimize the bot to do, trading in the best way, or however you choose to put it. But we would just be users of that service, so to speak.
More or less, yes. So on my end, my aim is to continuously train the bot with new strategies. As it learn new strategies, before I put it live on the bot, I would build the code, I would run tests. I might incubate it on a private account to make sure that it performs the way it's supposed to perform. And then once it does, then I would add the code to the main code of the bot itself. At the moment, the PLEX bot is about 800 lines of code. So before I add code to this, I would build either indicator or a separate program that I could run on another account. And then once it does what it's supposed to do, then I would add it to the main bot. So for example, with the question that I asked, for the account that I'm managing for the guy in Belize, what he does is I showed him how to install the MetaTrader platform on his phone. So at any point in time in the day, he could pull out his phone and he could open the charts and it would show open positions and what the floating PNL is. He would see when the positions close. He would see when they open. Now he could go in and he could close a trade on his own, which would kind of be messing with the bot on his side. It would not affect my side. I take my trade, the trade just copies to him, but you could monitor it on, your own platform, whether it be on your desktop, or your phone itself. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the broker itself, so how the Palm account works, basically is I have my live account with the broker, and the broker has it on their platform where the public could view it. And if somebody wants to copy the trades, you're not attaching your account to my account. You're just telling the broker, when I take a position, copy that same exact position onto your account and adjust the entry size based on your balance, because my balance would be different from your balance. So the broker would make adjustment based on the ratio of the account size, and then you basically just copy and make trades.
Okay. So I don't want to monopolize because I don't hear anyone else asking questions, but sorry, but if you can go, you know the slide that you showed that I said was a brilliant one where you show the flow.
Yeah.
Do you have a version of that slide that shows where little old me fits into it? And my son who is on this, like, do you have a version of that will show like where are we? Do we fit in under those strategy managers?
No.
Is that okay?
I should have done that, but what this would where you would fit in is what we could say is, okay, let's say, for example, if you are the it, what would happen is, even though these orders get routed to the market, they would actually go up to the it and then run to the market as well.
Okay.
So
Okay.
every position that I take, every order that I open, every order that I close, would just be copied to you before going to the market off of your platform.
Okay.
And if I could just ask a question, where does the broker get your trades from?
My trades are already on the broker. Yeah, Nigel, you could ask a question too. So what happens, remember, when you open a brokerage account, when you place an order, your order goes to the broker before going to the market. So that is how the broker would have access to my trades.
Okay, understood. And what you're saying is we just tell the broker to copy your trades if we wish to do that.
Correct. It's basically piggybacking on my position. So
Your stuff.
how it happens is, what is the best way to explain this? You open your personal account. Your credentials will be private to you. Your account would be private to you. You could withdraw and deposit as you see fit. I have absolutely nothing to do with that. And as I say, basically just piggybacking off of the positions that I taken on my live account. So I have skin in the game. I have risk in it as well. And the reason I'm doing that is because I have faith in what I built. So yeah. Questions. We have questions. Nigel?
Daniel, sorry, go ahead.
Yes. What if maybe I missed it, but what's the minimum account size on starting this?
With the broker, the way I set it up, the broker advised me. Now, this is based off of they see order flow on their website, and I asked them what was the recommended size. He advised me that I should tell traders to start with 5,000, but I say 1,000, which is, I mean, it's not a high number, but it's somewhere to start to see how the trades run. And then you could always increase it over time, which is what I personally do with my account. I have my account and then I add to my account every month from, my personal savings from work and so on.
Thank you.
No problem. Laura?
Hi, Curtis. My question to you is, you have done this for 2 years. I don't know if you can share, why would I want to mirror your trades? What has your success been?
So I have been, yes, doing it for a couple of years, but testing, well, I shouldn't say testing, even though it was a live account, and the account that the engineer is following me on is a live account. What we decided to do is start with a smaller balance, because at the end of the day, this is something that is risky, right? Trading is risky, and the percentages are higher, the returns are higher, the risk could also be higher. So, on that side, I started with a small account, but as you saw from the MyFX book, which is a live account, we up 100% for the year so far. When PLEX wasn't PLEX as yet, and it was just the IBS Hunter, which was last year, we made 96% last year. So, I mean, that is not saying that we would make a next 96% or a next 100% in the next 6 months, 8 months, but that was just the results for the past. And when you're looking at trading, the important thing to look at is percentage and not dollar value, because everyone could have a different account size. Somebody could have a $500 account and somebody could have a $10,000 account. So saying that you make $500 might not sound good, but you made 100% on your account, which, that is well valid.
Can I start $500?
I mean, you could, but the way it's set up with the broker, I took their recommendation because, I mean, on their account, if you look at some of the other traders, and I think I could show you that, and you could kind of get understanding why they asked me to join the platform. Going under signals. Right. So I just set up the account. I did not load this account as yet because at the moment I trade with a broker called 8Cap. Right. And I just wanted to hit my 100% before I move the funds across to this broker and start sharing the copy trades, right? But if you look at their ratings, and this would show other traders on their platform, the issue that they have a lot of traders from China, and they come in and they kind of YOLO the account away. So they would come in and try to hit like ridiculously high returns, and then the account would blow up. So this account is running, but like you could see some of these accounts, even though they're on the higher ranking, like some of these accounts, 99% drawdown, like they blowing up. I mean, it have some good accounts here, but the problem they're having is people just kind of gambling the account away. So this is why it's kind of important to look at who you're trading with. So, for example, this account, because of this drop, this would more likely be one of those martingale systems where you double the account every time you lose. You would get this nice equity curve up, and then when you do take a loss, you take a huge loss. So, but some of these accounts is be large. What they recommended to me was, as I said, was the 500. So I created 3 tiers where you're starting with one tier would be like 1,000, one would be 5,000, and one would be 10,000. But you could always step up from one tier to the other. So if you start with 1,000 and then over time the account grows, you could move to a different tier, and what would happen is it would reduce the profit split that the broker would give me for having my trading system on their platform. If that answers the question. So that is how that whole situation works. If you go to ratings, let's see if I could show you it here. When I opened the account, I just started. Yeah, go ahead, Nigel. I'll just look for this by time. I did set it up and I took one trade just to see if it would rank. So I took one trade and made 1%. Now this was just like an extremely small $200. This isn't even the robot. This is a manual trade. Yeah, Nigel, you could go ahead and ask by the time.
Yeah, on the back end of the trades, they are physically, what type of trades are they running? Option trades on the back end itself? Or is
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know the strategy because, like, for example, when you create this profile where people could visit your strategy to copy it, they normally ask for a description where you could give information about the strategy that you're trading. Like here, I link to my book. I have all this information here, right? All the other signals I notice don't have the information. So, like if we click on this guy, you can see you have no information here that telling you anything about the strategy. So at that point, you have no idea what they actually trade in their system, anything like that.
All right. So for yours, though, you have certain strategies that persons can choose to copy from. Not every single one.
No. So the robot itself trades a basket because if we go back to this, the reason I built it as a basket, if we look at this, right? So this is trading on the NASDAQ, the QQQ, and this is the bearish engulfing strategy. Over 5 years, it made 65%, which isn't much for 5 years. If you look here, you could see 2019 was 4%, 6%, 14%, negative 0.87%, right? If we look at the Harami strategy on the Qs as well, 48%. So it made money, but it made less money because not every strategy is as effective the same way. What the power of trading an algo is I can't trade these 9 strategies manually. I mean, that would be overload for me, right? Because each one of them I need to do a different calculation to determine risk. To monitor everything. But having a robot now, we could create a portfolio and the robot could manage all on its own. So as it managed everything in a portfolio, this is where the 737 came up over time. And if you look at this kind of displays more in a graphical way how the trades were distributed, how much losing trades percentage-wise, how much winning trades, the percentages by year, the months, the days, it breaks down everything. Even the equity chart. So if we look at just one strategy alone, this is the equity chart. We have some drawdown there. We have some drawdown to the end here. This was a good one. This was a decent one as well. This was a bit bumpy, right? So this is how all the individual strategies run. But once combined into a portfolio, you end up with this. So this is why I have it running as a portfolio and would be adding to the portfolio. If you do research on algo traders, there are a lot of webinars on YouTube with interviews with, good algo traders from, back in the day. And what they would tell you would be one of the most powerful thing you could do as an algo trader is have a portfolio of strategies, not just relying on one. So when one strategy is having a bad month, the slack would be made up by another strategy that performing well in that period of time.
Cool. Good. Other question then. The cost of entry and exits, they are fairly low then.
When you say the cost of entry and exit, you mean
Well,
like some...
because the bot doing the trade, of course, with the broker, you have a cost to get into trade and get out.
Right. Now, when you're trading futures, yes, you have to pay commission and you have to pay like those fees. Now,
Yeah.
I personally rather pay commission. It have people who would say, well, why are you paying a commission on taking a position? If you work out the numbers on it, I would rather pay a commission than have a wide spread. Now, it doesn't really affect me that much because I trade on the daily time frame. So having a slightly wider spread wouldn't affect me that much. But some of the strategies that I built, I have a robot that, let me show you this one. And this is where I rather take where I rather pay commission than a spread. If we look at, this is a robot I had. Look at the history here. And this shows the time, like how long the robot held the trade open. We had 10 seconds, 27 seconds. I know I had trades inside of here that even less than that. I have trades inside of here that was like 2 seconds long, which I can't physically do myself, right? But the robot could do it. So 1 minute, 47 seconds, 2 minutes, 44 seconds. So yeah, the way I look at it, this is 4 seconds and the account went up by 0.1%. 4 seconds. I can't physically do that as a manual trader. So if the spread was high, I wouldn't be able to do that because you need to cover the cost of the spread first before you start to go into profit.
Yeah.
They just take the commission out of the profit when the trades are closed. So I rather approach it that way.
Thank you.
No problem.
Hi, I'm not sure if you I joined a bit late, so I'm not sure if you went over it already. But how does the bot determine the amount of risk before it enters the trade? Or is that just based on your strategy?
No. So it could be done. It could be done a different number of ways. Right. If we look at, now this is on the back end, nobody would actually be seeing this, but when I built it, these are external settings that I have access to without having to go back into the code. Right. Now each strategy has a risk factor, and that risk factor could be calculated in different ways based on the strategy. So some strategy could be calculated based on the account size. So let's say if you have $100 in your account, it would say 1 micro lot, which is 0.01 for every 100 in your account. And then as the account increases, so as it goes to 200, you would maintain the same ratio and trade 0.02 for the 200 in your account. There is other way, like for example, this strategy here. What this strategy, the RSI2, what this does, it actually looks at the volatility in the market. So let's say the last 14 bars, and it would say, okay, the average movement of the last 14 bars would be 10 pips. And now we will take that 10 pips and we would say the stop would be two of the average size bars. So instead of 10, the stop would be 20, and then it would go ahead and calculate 1% of 20, of, well, 20 pips. So the advantage of that is if the market more volatile and the average bar is 50 pips, it would still maintain a 1% risk, but it would calculate that 1% risk now being of 100 pips in total, because one average bar is 50, so 2 bars is 100. But it's still maintaining 1% risk. So what happens is, let me see if I could show it on Quant Analyzer. If we look at the trade list and we go to see if we could look at it here. You can notice the lot size increases as the account increases, right? As the account goes up. Let me see if I could find one where it started to drop. Okay, so you notice here we have 0.2. So this is the lot size. When the account went up, it switched to 0.3. But then it took a loss, and as it took a loss, it wouldn't continue trading at 0.3 because the balance went down. And in order to maintain the same ratio of risk, you should reduce your lot size. So it reduced the lot size to 0.2. And then as it made back the money to go to 0.3, then it went up to 0.3. And it would continue growing like that. So that's kind of how I code all my bots for the most part, where it could figure out what the risk should be based on the account size or the overall risk on the account. Also, I should say some strategies perform better than others. So the bot would give more risk to strategies that perform better. So for example, the IBS Hunter is like a top strategy. So you could see the size of the lot sizes here would be higher because the returns on this was higher. But something like the Harami, it maintains a 0.1. Because even though this strategy makes money, it isn't as profitable. If we look at the equity curve, it isn't as profitable as this or this one. So it calculates all of that on its own. Yeah.
Yes, thanks. Answer the question. And
I think it was on the IBS. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I can ask again later.
Yeah, I think it was on the IBS Harami, so that one checks the opening against the closing the previous day and then deploys the strategy.
Right, so that is this one. So what this is, you take the close, you minus the low, and then you divide that by the high minus the low, and you would get a number between 0 and 1. Now, it kind of counterintuitive, but you have to understand the market. When I was saying that each market has a different personality. So like the S&P, the NASDAQ, the Dow, they are what they call mean reverting markets. So they always try to go back to the mean.
I got you.
So what this does now, it says, well, because when you run this calculation, if the number is closer to 0, that means the day closed red, right?
Yeah.
But strangely enough, that actually means that the market is showing bullish sentiment. So at that point in time, what you would do is you would take a buy position, even though the market closed red.
Because it tends to revert.
Correct. So depending on where the value is now, if the value comes out to be something like 0.3, that isn't low enough. I think on like for the IBS or on the S&P 500 for the 1 bar IBS, we're looking at anything lower than 0.21, and on the 2 bar is 0.1. And if we look at the NASDAQ, we're looking at 0.1. So the market has to close close to the bottom. So if I could, now the way I build this, I could switch off strategies as I want. And the reason for this too is every broker is different. The broker that I trade with right now, I could run the RSI2 and the results pretty good. But on TMGM, their data feed is a bit different, so the RSI2 doesn't work out. So if I just run the 1-bar IBS here for the NASDAQ, so this is only going to take positions using the 1-bar IBS. See if we could pause it when it takes a position. Now, yeah, the other thing I do to notice the screen is pink. So when the screen is pink, it tells the bot not to trade. When it turns to this color blue, then it will tell it to take a trade. Now, this is just on my back end. This is what I see. So let me just wait and see when we get a position. Okay, so you notice we got position here. All right. Now, with this strategy, how the rules would work is you actually using the calculation to determine when to enter, but also using the calculation to determine when to exit. Yeah, so if the value is close to 0, you enter. If it's close to 1, you exit. So you can see this one, we just happen to get a doji here and it closed the position at this point, which is a losing trade. Yes. Right. Now here, we zoom in. So here we took the position because of this bar of or this one here, how low this bar closed. When this bar opened, it took the position, and this calculation, when it was run, it hit the upper threshold of the IBS, so it closed the trade.
So it took a profit essentially.
Yeah. So if we keep running it, you can see this is kind of how the graph work out. Right now, even though we pull back here, right, we haven't drawn down here. This is where the portfolio comes in now. So other trades, for example, on the S&P 500, this was positive. So the positive actually kind of negate this negative and give you. Let's see where the right. So you see where the S&P ended. So it was positive, but the NASDAQ was negative. But as a portfolio, we up.
Understood.
That is kind of the thought behind it.
All right. Thank you very much for that.
No problem, no problem. Somebody else had a question.
Yeah, sorry. I'm not sure if you said it already as well, but what sort of industries does industries would the bot typically buy in? Is there like a set, or does it just identify like what's looking like it's moving and then it goes in?
No, so at the moment, I trade on the NASDAQ and the S&P because those are the markets I also trade on my futures account.
Okay.
But I am expanding in order to diversify risk. I am expanding what the bot is able to trade on. So I did this before. So this is a new strategy that I'm working on that would eventually go into the bot. This one pretty straightforward, and this one will be traded on Forex. I run some tests on the Nikkei, which is the Japanese stock. So I run
Forex as well.
Yeah. So the idea with this new strategy, this would be trading on different Forex pairs. It will also be trading on other indices as well. So I think when I run the test on this, we came back positive for the year as well, like 60 or 70%. Within the period of time, I think it was 104 tests. So I am going to stress test this strategy. My plan is to build this into a separate bot, and I would actually put this on the prop firm challenges, so like FTMO, and to kind of stress test it. So we'll see how that works out.
That makes sense. And also, just out of curiosity, because I've also tried writing a code, but for crypto, what do you write like your code in?
MQL4.
Pardon?
MQL4.
MQL4? Okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got it.
I mean, if you write in for crypto, what you using TradingView?
Yes. And I
So
use IBK as a broker.
that'll be Pine script. I think
Yeah.
TradingView is Pine script.
No.
You could. I just never got into coding for other languages. I think after MQL4 language, I'll be going to the MQL5 in order to move to the MT5 platform, because there are better benefits when it comes to testing across different markets at once. So, yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, and TradingView is PineScript.
Yeah.
Okay. Makes sense. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, I was quite curious.
So at the risk of breaking up the little techno dialogue that happened there between you and Jane and Daniel, is it Daniel or is your name Daniel?
Yeah, Daniel.
Because I heard Laura called you something else, so I was a little bit confused there. Okay.
Yeah, she called me
So
Curtis. So my name is Curtis Daniel.
Oh, okay. So I always ask the idiot questions on the call. So you just mentioned, Jaden just talked about a little bit about the crypto and he made a reference to crypto, but what do you do anything specifically? Like, can this bot work in the crypto world? Like, or are you building something for that, or?
If I have to build for crypto, so to be honest, at the moment, I only have crypto that I hold. I don't actively trade crypto, but
Okay.
I could, because the broker does offer crypto, right? So like all of these are crypto coins. Everything you see in this kind of light purplish, whatever color you call this. So all of these are crypto. So I mean, I could, the only thing I don't like with crypto that runs through the MetaTrader platform, because you see they open on the weekend, you could trade them now. But let's say if we open a Bitcoin chart, so the spread on Bitcoin is low, but I know some of these, the spreads will be extremely high. Like this doesn't look too big, but you have to keep in mind every line you see here is 1 day. So this is like 2 bars and this only move 1 bar. So my problem with crypto is the size of the spread. Like look at the size of the spread. In order to go into profit, if you enter a trade here at this line, you need to go past this line before you could make a cent. So that is my issue with crypto. Plus, you have to remember, if you long-term investing, let's say you want to come and buy stocks, right? I think I say this broker doesn't have stocks. This broker has stocks, I believe. Right? So let's say you want to come and buy stocks, you want to buy Google, or you want to buy Apple or Amazon or something, and you want to buy and hold, you wouldn't do it on this platform. You would use something like Interactive Brokers to actually buy it and own that stock, right? This platform, we actively trade in. And what happens is, if you use this platform, the reason I wouldn't try to hold a trade too long is you have to pay the swap. Once you have the trades overnight, you have an additional fee to pay. So we don't want to keep paying this fee, because I built a strategy for the NASDAQ. So if we look at the NASDAQ here, we take this off, and I'll just do a simple moving average of 200, right? If you build a strategy where once price crosses the moving average, you buy, and then when it crosses, you close, right? Now look at this distance. This is only daily time frame. Each one of these lines represent a month. So you holding this for almost a year. This looks positive, but if you come out here, you would end in a loss because of the amount of swap fees that you need to pay. So that is why I try not to hold trades while trading through a broker like this for too long. My trades would be to enter a trade today and try to get out by tomorrow or day after tomorrow, a week for the most.
Okay.
However, this trades on the hourly time frame. So this is faster. This you can notice here, like this trade was like 1 hour. This trade took a couple hours. It opened in one day, closed. It closed a couple days after, but the fees wouldn't be that high. So what I would say is you have to consider what your end goal is. If your end goal is just to trade to make money, then you shouldn't really care what you're trading. Once the market moves, you have opportunity to make money. If you're trying to invest to say that, okay, I own part of Amazon, that is something completely different.
Okay.
That's just my thoughts on like how I approach it. If I could trade one market alone, for example, on my futures account, I trade mostly the Nikkei alone, and I would make majority of my money right there just trading one instrument, because it really doesn't matter what so much that I trade. Is just that the movement of the market.
One more. I use interactive brokers for the bot. Will I need to join I don't know if I missed it, but will I need to join another brokerage to trade using your bot, or could I use IBKR?
Oh no, this copies directly through the broker itself. So I would I need to finish a white paper I'm working on, and it would have like links to the broker and how to sign up the account and how to set up everything. But because you are copying the trades and the broker would be handling all the transactions and everything, because I didn't want to get involved with like sending an invoice, because that is what I do at the moment with the account for the guy in Belize. We just have it set up on my VPS. So I have his account on my VPS, and I trade it, and I have to send him an invoice, and I cannot do like that. So
Okay,
for
makes sense.
the broker to manage the Palm account, everything runs directly through the broker. They have all like legal documentation. I would be classed as a contractor for strategy providing, or a strategy provider for as a contractor. So everything legal through them.
Okay, makes sense. Thank you.
No problem.
And Daniel, I suppose I can get additional information from Laura. Like if I want to see, you mentioned a couple of websites, and you also mentioned your YouTube channel, etc. So presumably you're going to send those things, or or Laura already knows those and she can send those to me. How is that?
What we could do, let me paste it right here in the I'll paste it right here in the chat, so to be easy for everyone to get.
Okay.
My YouTube channel is really just a small channel, just meant to document my progress.
Yes, guys, Curtis is not paying me enough, so any contact you want for Curtis, please get it from him, because I will be sending him an invoice. So, yeah. Please put it in the chat, Curtis. Thank you.
You understand what is be going on?
Yeah, boy.
Sure.
I copied your number, so I just waiting for your YouTube channel, and I think you mentioned a couple of websites as well. And let me take this opportunity, Curtis, to say that Curtis/Daniel, that it's been you got your deep. Obviously, you're in this thing, and your language is a bit above me, but I grasp the concept of what it is, and sounds very interesting. So I'm sure you'll be hearing from me and my wife and my son. Jaden is on there. Jaden was the one that was asking you all those questions, so he was running circles around me.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. What I would do is for anybody interested, take my number, send me a message. I would create a WhatsApp group. I already have a Discord, but I would create a WhatsApp group because, as I mentioned at the start, what I also want to do is help anyone who wants to start trading. This isn't at a fee. I'm not doing this as a course or anything. but my aim is to try to find someone that I could work with in the future. So when it comes to building more algorithms and that kind of stuff, I could brainstorm with that person, sit down and talk strategy, run tests, that kind of stuff. So if anybody is interested in actually trading themselves, don't hesitate to send me a message. I would always respond. Completely up to chatting about trading any time of the day.
Curtis, I'm actually going to put you in contact with a childhood friend of mine, well, he's actually a neighbor who was doing some trading in the crypto market for us. But I just messaged him as you were going on with this, and I said you should be on this call because I'm sure that if I put you two together, you all would just talk for days because you sound very much like him and he sounds like you. And I'm sure that, I like to connect similar to how you like to help people. I like to connect people with like minds and kind of piggyback from what is that they're doing and ride on their coattails to make some profits. So I'll see if I can get him to get his contact information over to you and get yours over to him, and maybe you guys can connect and have conversations.
Yeah, definitely not a problem. Definitely not
He's
a
very
problem.
knowledgeable, just like yourself.
I would say that I wouldn't say knowledgeable. I green. I just tell everybody I green. Oh
But
yeah, you
thank you.
to
I'll definitely reach out because I'm very interested in getting into that Discord. I'm relatively new as well to trading, but I'm trying to soak up as much as I can. So definitely take a look into that.
at the moment you only trade crypto, you use what? Binance?
No, I don't trade crypto, but I'm trying to learn how before I go in, I want to learn how to I originally want to learn how to run a bot for crypto, but I trade like regular stocks at the moment. But just been like learning how to read the indicators and learning how to like develop a strategy. But I want to learn how to write a code so I can make a bot do it.
Yeah.
But I'm just trying to get as much info as I can before I do so.
What I would say that you need to pay attention to, and this is one of the reasons I haven't focused so much on crypto, especially trading through an exchange. You have to remember when you trade, unless your broker tells you that they have um a negative equity protection, you could lose more money than you have in your account and then you would owe the broker. And
Yeah.
if you have if you trade in a margin account through an exchange and something goes wrong, the market crash, and you have an open position that you're not looking at that point in time, it possible. And I don't know of an exchange that has that protection, which is my biggest concern. They wouldn't liquidate you and say, well, okay, your account dropped 40, 50, 60%. We're going to automatically close your position in order to protect you. If you go south, they would send you an email and tell you that you need to send them money.
Yeah. Which is
That is my that was my big concern with some of the brokers. I think like unregulated brokers as well, just have that issue.
yeah. So far I only use interactive brokers, but I'll need to check and see what their policies are.
Nah, interactive brokers legit. That is 100% legit. Yeah, no worries there. But
Yeah.
I like interactive brokers if you buying and holding and also for like dividend stocks. If you get
Yeah.
into dividends and buying REITs and stuff. Again, the only issue why I don't do that is because my number's better. Because you're not going to buy a dividend stock that going to pay 100% in there.
Yeah, that's
So, yeah, that is my only thing.
makes sense. But yeah, I just hoping to learn more as soon as I just soak up as much as I can quickly.
Yeah, no worries. No worries. We'll definitely talk about that.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you, Sir Curtis. I was about to say that you are the one who have come to the fore at this moment. So I'm very happy that you took the initiative to share your expertise and so forth. So I'm a baby in this, so I'm learning.
Yeah, well,
Thank you.
we all start somewhere is definitely not a problem. I know we spoke before about you guys learning, you and a group over there learning to trade, and I mean, I have no problem helping how I could. I am not a pro, I am not the best coder, but I know enough to write code for what I need. Um, and I say just start. I started to teach myself how to code. I didn't have a school to go to or anything, and I had an idea, and I just kind of researched it until I got to the point where I'm at. So, I mean,
Yeah,
you just need to start. That's the most important thing.
right. Right. So, my thought is to piggyback.
Yeah, that's that is not a problem. Anytime you're ready, I mean, I have to figure out how to do it if I want to do that, where we could
Yes.
probably set up like a webinar or something where we go through the process. I mean, I know it will be time on my side, but go through the process, show everybody how to set up a trading account, how to use the platform, how to even do strategy development and start building your own indicators and your own tools and stuff. So
Right.
you probably start doing that.
Right. Yeah. I want to thank the guys for those questions because you have certainly opened up my understanding in certain areas. Don't know how much, but I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks for all the questions and stuff. I mean, yeah, it have people with some experience trading and stuff, so which is pretty cool. So
Yes.
I'm curious to know of the people who trade and like how long you guys traded and like the experience that you're having if you're being profitable at the moment. I was speaking to a couple of people in Trinidad here that traded, and I mean a lot of people having the same issue where they want to get to the point where they're profitable, but they're not there yet.
Yeah. I'm in for it for the profit. So, well, like I shared earlier, I heard somebody talking about the crypto. I am so careful now with that because, lost some funds in that area. Uh,
Is the volatility for me, is the swings that you could get with crypto, because the last bear run that it had, um I was looking at Bitcoin when it was 3,000 and then it went up to 60. But it's the type of swings, and I mean I know people when Bitcoin high was 20,000 and they invested in Bitcoin, and then you know how hard it is to invest money into Bitcoin when it is 20,000 and it dropped to 3,000.
oh
Oh,
man,
that is hurtful. That is hurtful.
yes,
So
yes,
is those kind of swings that, now if you are trading, like actively trading Bitcoin, then that is not a problem. The volatility is your friend. You want the market to move, because the more the market moves, the more money you can make.
right,
But if you're buying and holding, that is where the issue could come in, which is the same issue with like buying and holding the S&P 500 or the Nasdaq, because even like the S&P on average would make like 8% a year, but there are certain years you'll be down 80%, which hard to stomach. So
oh,
there we go. You know, it is that you put 10,000 in the S&P, and like in 2008 when the market fall, your account went from 10,000 to 2,000. I mean, you'll feel sick. So yeah.
yeah, yes,
Yeah. So that is why I don't buy and hold. I take the approach of actively trading.
oh,
So guys, Daniel, I got, sorry if I can jump in. So I got to jump. Again, thanks. But the question I have, since you're not going the route of routing things through Laura, is how do we get this recording from you? What do we do? What's the next step? Do we reach out to you on WhatsApp or something? And how does that work?
Send me a message on WhatsApp. I could create a group. So, I mean, the nice thing about the group, if anyone has questions, they could ask. Anyone else in the group would get the information as well. Once I edit the video, because we were talking before we actually started, so I need to edit out all of that. Once I upload it to the channel, it would be privated, so people with the link would have access to it.
Okay, but it all starts with us contacting you via WhatsApp.
Yeah. Okay. And once we create the group, I mean, if you know anyone who interested in trading, and this doesn't really apply to connecting to my account, but anyone interested in trading who wants to get into trading and learn how to trade and that kind of stuff, you could always share the group with them. It's not a problem. And we could go from there.
Sounds good. Well, Daniel, once again, thanks. I think this has been very, very informative. And I want to thank you. I gotta jump now though, but thanks a lot. I most appreciated.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
All right, champ. I sent the message already.
Oh. Okay.
So when you create it, I'm ready.
All right.
Okay, I gotta leave now. Bye-bye.
All right. Enjoy your day.
You too. Bye-bye. Bye, all. Bye, Laura.
Bye.
I have to go as well. Yes. Have a good Saturday, everyone. And thanks so much for joining.